to kind of work through what that feels like first before I can jump into my connecting to the quantum field connection. I think your why is really important. Like, why is it that I want to do this? Why is it? Because I want to be a leader. Why else do I want to do this? Because I want to be a good role model for my two sons, Daniel and Corey. Why is it that I want to do this? Because I want to be my highest and best. Why is it that I want to do this? Because other people look at me as a role model. And plus, I feel better when I do this. I actually feel not even a little better. I feel much better when I do this.
So what are some things that you apply to your life every day? Like, what is your morning routine or ritual like? Because I understand that we all have a certain way that we wake up, that we take control of our morning. It's either we take control of it or it takes control of us. And usually when it takes control of us, it's usually not a good sight. So what's your morning routine like?
Well, morning routine, to anchor that in first thing in the morning, how you want to feel. And what you want to accomplish, I think, is so important. So I agree with you. And also at the end of the day, how you close the day. And I created a video on how I start the day. Like, I wanted to capture it on video and put it up on YouTube. But so what I do is I wake up in the morning. Now this routine has changed. So just in the beginning, when I started just thinking about these concepts and applying the concept like one baby step at a time, I would wake up in the morning and would work towards, it took a while, but to work towards just saying thank you when I woke up. So before getting out of bed, just saying thank you is the greatest prayer or intention that we can have to start the day in a positive way. And then I layered on that, staying in bed and thinking about a couple things that I was grateful for, and then putting the intent and the intention out there to have a positive day. And then once I got that solid in place as a daily habit, then I started to get out of bed and applying the next level of the intention in the morning. So that for me is doing a little bit of breathing, taking inhale in, full exhale out, and now connecting to the quantum field of infinity. And in some way, because our minds are so powerful, we have the brain, the organ, and then the mind, which is the flow and the exchange of ideas, information, insight, intuition, problem solving, all of that. So to connect my mind to something bigger and greater, where all of the solutions, all of the ideas, so to kind of sync up the way you charge your cell phone and you plug it into the wall and you want to make sure you have a full charge. Like, I take my mind, I want to have a full charge, so I'm energized throughout the day, and like plug it into this quantum field, connecting to source, connecting to something bigger and greater, connecting to life, connecting to creativity. So I do that. So I plug in. I'm very intentional around plugging in. And then I add something to amplify it. So I'll speak out loud. I might set an intention for a productive day where I am calm, where I am confident, where I am my highest best. And I may use my voice so that I can just project the highest energy up to, whatever that is, that something bigger, greater is. And that's it. And now I journal. So I like to do this conscious stream writing. So I'll write 3 or 4 or 5 pages in the morning. And while I do that, I do stretching at the same time. So I'll do like a yoga pose or a little bit of stretching. So that way I get the body, the physical body, like starting moving.
And what time do you usually do that, wake up?
Well, now I know this isn't for everyone, but I like to wake up at 5 a.m. So I am part of that 5 a.m. club because I love the time. Between 5 and 7, I love it.
I love that time.
No one's awake yet.
It's peace and serenity. It's just
It's amazing,
it's
right?
amazing.
Yeah, it really is amazing. It takes time if you're not used to doing it. I would just start by, I used to wake up at 7, then I'd wake up at 6:45 and 6:30.
I did this, but it took me a year to do each hour. I used to do 7, and then I did 6, then I did 5, and then I did 4:30, and then I did 3:30. I'm like, you're crazy. And I went back to, I went back to 4.
Yeah, wow. That's fantastic. You can get so much done
Yes.
in the morning before people are texting you and calling you and needing you and all that sort of thing. And so there aren't all those distractions going on. Yeah, I totally agree. That's where I drink my first 2 glasses in the water in the morning. And you know, I bang,
Yep.
like accomplish
Me too.
that
We
goal.
have the same. I drink a water with lemon and cucumber because it alkalized, and I'm already dehydrated.
Yeah.
Put that water in, and now I've just added a second part, which is a vision statement. Yesterday I written a vision statement, how I imagine my life in 5 years, and I read it, and it's so empowering, and every day now I'm just like more enthused to actually work on what I'm doing, because actually one of the things on there is to have this show as a nationally recognized show, the Unlimited Power Show, with some of the people with the greatest stories, starting here today with Wendi Blum. So, and then I just visualize it, and that's how my day gets started. Now I'm more empowered to actually do the things that give me power, that empowers me, instead of draining my power. And as we talk about draining power, there are stages of my life where I engage in certain activities that were not the best for my Atman self or best self or whatever you want to call it. Have you ever got to a point where you were counterproductive, where you was doing some sort of thing that was either addictive or just backwards? And how did you overcome that obstacle within your life?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so what part of life? For sure, there's always like something. There's something that's like,
something,
there's some vice in there. There's some self-sabotage in there. There's some behavior that you're not even aware of. And then when you become aware of it, but you've been doing it for so long, so now it takes some time to actually either eliminate it or correct it or change it and that sort of thing. So for sure, everything from smoking cigarettes, I smoked in my 20s, although I stopped smoking before I was in my 30s or 40s, but I remember when I got the idea that someone said to me, I'm surprised that you smoke. I held you like in higher regard. And I had tried to quit over and over and over again, but disappointing someone and having someone kind of, judge me in a way that didn't feel good, that then became the catalyst. But then there are other things, even most recently, I do a detox every year so that I can clean up my eating, because somehow foods, they leak in there. Somehow I just think, I'm doing really well, I eat really healthy, so sure, you can eat this, or why not eat, a slice of bread. I try not to eat bread or that's or too much gluten, and it kind of sneaks in. And so I do this detox. I just did a detox recently, and that helps kickstart back. But I have to prepare for it. Like when I'm going to do a detox, I think about it for about 6 months in advance. I'm going to do the detox. And then I start to do the detox partially by starting to eliminate one thing at a time and add in one new habit at a time. And then I have a certain date in mind, and then I decide to go all in. I try to do it for 30 days. If I can do it longer, then I do
So
that.
I know you went through it, but what you said was kind of powerful, and I like to bring things to people that really need it. And one thing we don't talk about is the effects, like addiction. Like you was talking about smoking and how people held you to high standards. I think I've experienced that. I never smoked cigarettes per se, but I've smoked, before, and my friends always hold me to a higher standard. They're like, I wouldn't think that you would smoke this or would drink alcohol. Like, I looked at you like I think you're a saint. So tell us, let's dig into that deep pain or emotion or baggage way in your past, and that's done with, we're grown. When you were going through that circumstance, what in your mind that kept bring you back to it besides the physical urge to want to get nicotine, you know? So what kept bringing you back to that circumstance?
Well, I'm actually going to mention something that's a little bit more like yesterday or last week or a few months ago. Drinking wine, which I love wine. And so I really like to go a month or two without drinking any. And then over time, I might think that I'm just going to have a glass of wine on a Saturday night or Friday night, and then I end up having a glass of wine 3 or 4 nights a week, or even that 5th night. So what happens is that I find that I'm influenced by the people around me. So if I'm around other people that have those kinds of habits, it's going to be much more likely that I'm going to partake. So first it has to be awareness, like, where do I do this? How do I feel when I do this? Am I doing this around dinner time? How often am I doing it? So I'm just kind of taking note, and then I'm thinking about what I feel like when I do it. If I feel guilt or shame or disappointment or frustration, then I know it's not good for me. So then I take note of those feelings and then think about how I want to feel, which is empowered and healthy and really sharp. Like my mind is really, really sharp when I'm alcohol free, and that feels really good. I wake up in the morning at 5 o'clock, bang, ready to go. If I have wine the night before, then I'm sluggish. Then I have to kind of work through what that feels like first before I can jump into my connecting to the quantum field. So there's that, making that connection. I think your why is really important. Like, why is it that I want to do this? Why is it? Because I want to be a leader. Why else do I want to do this? Because I want to be a good role model for my 2 sons, Daniel and Corey. Why is it that I want to do this? Because I want to be my highest and best. Why is it that I want to do this? Because other people look at me as a role model. And plus I feel better when I do this. I actually feel not even a little better. I feel much better when I do this. So I gotta go through and get like my mind all right around that, and then focus on my why. So I like to give myself a mention like dates. I give myself wiggle room. So not to think that it's going to be easy, because I know it's not going to be easy. So in the beginning, it's going to be hard. In the beginning, changing habits and eliminating habits that aren't good for you, because we get immediate gratification versus long-term fulfillment. So we're like, just kind of, we're measuring between the two. I want the immediate gratification now. We're conditioned as a society to want that. And those things feel good, but then they feel bad. So at the same time. So I think about that, and then I start bringing in the elements that are going to make it easier. So these are the people that I'm going to surround myself with. This is when I'm going to do it. This is how it's going to feel. Now, you mentioned having that vision statement.
Yes.
So I do something like that. So, and I take it and I record it so I can listen to it. So I take my vision of the best outcome that I'm able to actually move through, release, eliminate something of a lower vibration that doesn't serve me. So I have the idea of that. I write it out. I go forward as if it already happened, so that I can see myself. And
do you use this as well to do
Yes, well that's exactly what that is. That's exactly what that is. So this is a Flourish planner calendar. It's a system that includes this reverse engineer process so that you can set your goals for the month and then go through the vivid vision of what that looks like. You write it down. So I'll show you here. So for example, we're getting ready to enter a new month, and here you review the prior month.
Yes.
So you review it, you reflect on the month. what you liked about it, maybe a couple things you didn't like about it, and then the learning, because we talked about being a full-time, all on board student, and then the releasing piece, anything that you want to release and let go of, any anger, anything that came up with relationships, and then releasing some bad habits. So you get to write all that down. And then here under ideas, now you have new ideas, you can jot them down. And then under the reverse engineering, how you want to feel. You want to feel healthy, proud of yourself, confident, productive, organized, fit. Like you write down how you want to feel, and then you take each different category of life, like health, and then you think about what that month looks like being your highest best. And then relationships and communication, and then business and career, and then money and finances. Let's talk about debt. I mean, that's a big one for a lot of people, to eliminate debt, or to eliminate something even smaller, like maybe overspending, you know, right there. So you just get clear about this, and then I write it all out and then record it, and then listen to the recording. And then when you hear your own voice, it goes deepest into your subconscious mind, and you can't help but seeing the picture, the image of yourself with the positive habits and goals and outcomes and all of that, being alcohol free. You did it. It's 30 days. You did it. You feel great. You're out to dinner with friends. Even a couple friends are drinking wine. And initially you felt like having a glass, but you were able to move through that feeling, and you drank water, and you drank water in a wine glass, and you put a little bit of lemon in there, and you felt like you were still connected to everyone there, and you were still able to really honor where you wanted to be 30 days from then, and you did it.
Wow. So it's power. You feel powerful at that stage.
Yeah.
You know, the book, a lot of things you have in the book, I've done in my little notebook. This book is very useful. Have you made an online version of it? Have you ever thought about doing that?
There is an online version of it, but for the most part, and you can get the book on Amazon or on my website, because when you actually write it out, it goes like another level.
You're right.
So I encourage people to actually write, because actually when you're writing, then these ideas start to flow, and all of a sudden you're writing more than you think you initially.
Then you're like, where is this coming from?
Exactly.
I've experienced that all the time.
Exactly.
Sometimes I start writing, I have no idea, or speaking. I start writing, and they're just like flow of information incoming.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa, this is really psyching me out.
So true.
So goal setting, that's one of the main things you believe in, is that we should really set our goals in order to like exceed in our personal and professional lives.
Yeah.
So you would say that's a very important factor, right?
I say it's very important, but to actually look at goals, like two different types of goals.
Yes.
Outcome goals are bigger goals that could take 3, 4, 5 years, that could take a lifetime. And then process goals, like what are you going to do today? Being in the moment, what are you going to do this hour? And to really think about it that way, to have that big audacious goal out there, and then like, what is it that you can do? What is it that you can think right in this moment? Who do I want to be right here, right now? Break it all the way down to that little 1%. Like, how can I be my best self this hour?
Awesome. So how can you be your best self this hour? Within the next 8 minutes, I'm going to ask you some really short questions or words or phrases, and you can tell me what you think and definition of it.
Great.
And then we're going to conclude.
Great.
So when you hear destiny, what comes to your mind in 30 seconds or less?
Oh, just expansive.
Expansive.
Infinite.
What is your definition of the soul?
What is your definition of?
Soul.
Of soul? Like
it's the soul, S-O-U.
Oh, the soul. The soul. Eternal.
Eternal. Love.
Love. Unconditional.
Joy.
Joy. Bring on the joy.
Wisdom.
Wisdom. Coming from great leaders and teachers and ancestors that walked before us.
Wendi with an I.
ever evolving and growing.
Wow. It's just like, you know, when I hear your last name, Blum, I think of Bloom. I just wanted to put that out there.
Thank you. I love flowers.
So growing.
Growing, open, and also curious.
Curious, nice.
Well, that anything and everything is possible. Now that's a cliche, so you've heard that before. But to actually discover, learn, and own your worthiness and your deserving, so your emotional, whatever the emotions that you're feeling, your emotional scale, wherever you are, your emotions are going to then propel you forward. So to check in with how you're feeling on a regular basis and work towards really feeling your deservingness and your worthiness. That's it.
Beautiful.
Because you guys are amazing, amazing. Everyone has gifts and talents inside of them, and it's just a matter of allowing that part to come out, to be the dominant part of who they are and who they are becoming.
That's beautiful. Well, Wendi Blum, thank you so much for coming here on the Unlimited Power Show. I really enjoyed our conversation. Like I said, it's like juice for the mind. You know, just soak it up and share it with someone else. And if your cup runneth over, it means you have too much juice.
Then you just have to keep giving it to others.
You just gotta keep giving.
Share it.
So that concludes the episode of the Unlimited Power Show, Season 4. And what a better way to start. This season is about mainly entrepreneurship. And it just all comes together. What a better way to start. So I want to thank you for tuning in to this Unlimited Power Show. And one thing I always like to remind you is that you have the unlimited power to achieve whatever it is that you want. But until you believe that, the world will forever miss your talents, your gifts, and all the great things that you have to offer. So let your light shine, don't hide it, don't dim it. Let your light shine, don't hide it, don't dim it. Thank you for tuning in. Please make sure you like this video, share it, and subscribe. And if you're watching here on our TV network, please be sure to tune in every week for a brand new episode of a brand new amazing individual sharing amazing knowledge here on the Unlimited Power Show. Thank you so much. You have a wonderful rest of your day.
You're awesome.
Thank you.
All right.
That's it.
All right.
How can we see you speak? Because I went to one of the events at the Rooster Local was hosting, and it was awesome. That's actually how I asked Wendi Blum to be here on the show. When are you having a next speaking engagement that people could come and see you?
Well, I'm on YouTube all the time, so
Okay.
I created 3 videos just this week. So I launched my YouTube channel. So
Yes.
always on YouTube for entrepreneurship, personal growth, and mindset. And then I speak all of the time locally, and that's on college campuses. I'm doing something at Lynn University next month. I'm speaking on willpower, and then I'll be speaking with the Sun Sentinel in October. They're doing an event called Thrive. It's at the W Hotel in Fort Lauderdale. It's health and wellness oriented and mindset. And then I have an event every year that's called Create Your Best Life, and that's the beginning of the year so that you can set your goals for the whole year and be empowered to optimize your personal life and your business. And also on my website, so you can sign up. I send out newsletters every week, so anyone can subscribe to a newsletter, and it's Wendi with an I, Blum, BLUM.com.